Alright, so the first thing you gotta do when you're gonna put coilovers on is get your car off the ground. Obviously, if you have a car hoist, that'll be easier. If not, jack stands work as well. Next thing, gotta take off the hubcaps if you got a dirt nasty Honda Civic like us. Then obviously you'll need to take off the wheel. So the next thing you gotta do is, you can see that there's those two bolts right there. One of them comes off really easy, or at least it did on ours, and we got it off with the air wrench real easy. The other one wasn't so easy. We ended up having to grab a wrench and use some WD-40 to get it off. Next, once you've taken the strut out of the car, you'll need to assemble the coilover. Now the point of coilovers in the first part is to be able to adjust your ride height and adjust the stiffness of your coils. Then once your coilover is all assembled, you can just line it up with the hole right there and slide the bolt in, tighten her up, and then also you'll need to tighten up that other bolt. The last thing that you'll need to do for the back piece as well is, once you tighten up both those bolts, then you push it all back up through the top hole that's back in the hatch and tighten those nuts on the bolts up at the top. Next we moved on up to the front. So basically there's this one bolt that holds the lower control arm onto the whole wheel assembly. It's very difficult to get off, as you can see here, because we had to use 2 socket wrenches and a breaker bar to get that bolt off.
There we go. Seriously? I couldn't get it. We just got this bolt out. It was holding this onto the shock, so we got that out, and now we're gonna keep going with it. Damn, don't break it. I got it.
So the next thing we did was, to get the whole strut off, you need to decompress the spring. Now the spring compressors that we bought did not actually fit between the coils of our springs, so we had to just undo the nuts from the bolts on the top in the engine bay.
We've gotten the coilover back in. It's up in here, and we put it up through the hole. It's all back together, and now we're putting the rest of everything back together. So we're connecting it up there, connecting it down here, we're connecting it everywhere.
Doing the front coilovers was a lot more difficult than doing the back coilovers, because the brake lines were attached to the strut itself. So there was multiple bolts you had to undo there, and there was this little pin that was very difficult to get out and put back in.
Freaking there we go. Finished with the coilover installation, and I don't know if you can tell, but I think it does look a little bit lower, and the suspension is definitely stiffer. We already test drove it. So I bought these on Amazon for $50, and overall initial review, I give them a 3.5 out of 5, because one side is lower than the other, but we think that's the struts on the inside, so that's old parts, and that's not their fault. So yeah, so far I'm liking them.
Logic. I I got a date with destiny. My heart says yeah, but can't convince the rest of me. I tried so hard to make it with no recipe. My selfish ways caught up and got the best of me. I need redemption, no need to mention my past, cause all that matters now is bigger than diamonds and cash. The glitz, the glamour, the lights, the camera, the action. It stays the fans.